Okay, people of God, this is a book I read a while back, and I tell you, it's just awesome material, okay? And this man's name was Hermas, and Hermas was a businessman, much like Donald Trump, okay? So, business people can be saved. Now, this is going to be addressing the husband, the wife, and the children. So, this right here is a family affair. It's going to be short, and let me start. And this is the first vision, okay? He who had bred me up sold a certain young maid at Rome, whom when I saw many years after, I remember her and began to love her as a sister. It happened sometime afterwards that I saw her washing in the river Tabor, and I reached out my hand unto her and brought her out of the river. And when I saw her, I thought with myself, saying, how happy should I be if I had such a wife, both for beauty and manners. This I thought with myself, nor did I think any more. But not long after, as I was walking and musing on these thoughts, I began to honor this creature of God, thinking with myself how noble and beautiful she was. And when I had walked a little, I fell asleep, and the Spirit caught me away, and carried me through a certain place toward the right hand, through which no man could pass. It was a place among rocks, very steep and unpassable for water. When I was past this place, I came into a plain, and there falling down upon my knees, I began to pray unto the Lord and to confess my sins. And as I was praying, the heaven was open, and I saw the woman which I had coveted, do you hear that? Saluting me from heaven, and saying, Hermas, hail! And I looked upon her, answering, Lady, what dost thou do there? She answered me, I am taken up hither to accuse thee of sin before the Lord. Lady, said I, wilt thou convince me? No, said she, but hear the words which I am about to speak unto thee. God, who dwelleth in heaven, and hath made all things out of nothing, and hath multiplied them for his holy church's sake, is angry with thee, because thou hast sinned against me. And I answering said unto her, Lady, if I have sinned against thee, tell me where, or in what place, or when did I ever speak an unseemly or dishonest word unto thee? Have I not always esteemed thee as a lady? Have I not always reverenced thee as a sister? Why then dost thou imagine those wicked things against me? Then she, smiling upon me, said, the desire of naughtiness has risen up in thy heart. All right, brothers now. Sisters too. Does it not seem to thee to be an ill thing for a righteous man to have an evil desire rise up in his heart? Because even I have been weighed in the balance and found wanting. It is indeed a sin, and that a very great one, to such a one, for a righteous man thinketh that which is righteous. And whilst he does so, and walketh uprightly, he shall have the Lord in heaven favorable unto him in all his business. But as for those who think wickedly in their hearts, they take to themselves death and captivity, and especially those who love this present world and glory in their riches and regard not the good things that are to come. Their souls wander up and down and know not where to fix them. See, this is why we're telling you not to take the mark of the beast. Now this is the case of such as are double-minded, who trust not in the Lord, and despise and neglect their own life. But do thou pray unto the Lord, and he will heal thy sins, and the sins of thy whole house, and of all his saints. As soon as she had spoken these words, the heavens were shut, and I remained utterly swallowed up with sadness and fear, and said within myself, if this be laid against me for sin, how can I be saved? Or how shall I ever be able to entreat the Lord for my many and great sins? With what words shall I beseech him to be merciful unto me? As I was thinking over these things and meditating in myself upon them, behold, a chair was set over against me of the whitest wool, as bright as snow. And there came an old woman in a bright garment, having a book in her hand, and sat alone, and saluted me, saying, Hermas, hail! And I, being full of sorrow and weeping, answering, Hail, lady! And she said unto me, Why art thou sad, Hermas? Who wert wont to be patient and modest and always cheerful? I answered and said unto her, Lady, a reproach has been laid in my charge by an excellent woman who tells me that I have sinned against her. Yeah, somebody sinned against me like that in a email. She replied, Far be any such thing from the servant of God, but it may be that the desire of her has risen up in thy heart. For indeed, such a thought making the servant of God guilty of sin. Nor ought such a detestable thought be in the servant of God, nor should he who is approved by the Spirit desire that which is evil, but especially Hermas, who contains himself from all wicked lust, and is full of all simplicity and of great innocence. Nevertheless, the Lord is not so much angry with thee for thine own sake, as upon the account of their house, which has committed wickedness against the Lord and against their parents. We are talking about the children here. We are addressing Hermas first. Now here come the children. Because, see, parents get the blame for everything. But you're about to hear that even children can lead their parents into sin. Okay, and for that, out of the fondness towards thy sons, thou hast not admonished thy house, but hast permitted them to live wickedly. For this cause the Lord is angry with thee. But he will heal all the evils that are done in thy house, for through their sins and iniquities thou art wholly consumed in secular affairs, like what? TikTok, the bucket challenge, okay? Things that do not bring glory to God. And while a lot of us go into it innocently, some of us wind off falling into sin because we have allowed our children to lead us into it because they are into sin. And because, what did she say it was? Because of the fondness of her sons. You know, I think back to how when I seen some kids that have cut up at the school and the parents go down to the school and what they do, they start fighting the teachers, the principals, and everybody because they won't correct their children. Hear what she has to say. But now the mercy of God have taken compassion upon thee and upon thy house, and have greatly comforted thee. Only as for thee, do not wander, but be of an even mind, and comfort thy house. Okay? As the workman bringeth forth his work, offers it to whomsoever he pleaseth, so shall thou, by teaching every day what is just, cut off a great sin. A little leaven of a whole lump, the Bible says, right? Wherefore, cease not to admonish thy sons, for the Lord knows that they will repent with all their heart, and they shall be written in the book of life. You hear this, children? Come on now, time to repent. And when she had said this, she added unto me, Wilt thou hear me read? I answered her, Lady, I will. Hear then, said she. And opening the book, she read gloriously, greatly, and wonderfully, such things as I could not keep in memory, for they were terrible words, such as no man could bear. Howbeit I committed her last words to my remembrance, for they were but few, and of great use to us. Behold, the mighty Lord, who by his invisible power and with his excellent wisdom made the world, and by his glorious counsel beautified his creature, and with the word of his strength fixed the heaven, and founded the earth upon the waters. And by this powerful virtue established his holy church, which he hath blessed. Behold, he will remove the heavens and the mountains, the hills and the seas, and all things shall be made plain for his elect, that he may render unto them the promise which he has promised, which must honor with much honor and joy, if so be that they shall keep the commandments of God, which they have received with great faith. And when she had made an end of reading, she rose up out of her chair, and behold, 4 young men came and carried the chair to the east. And you know what? When I see old ladies sitting in chairs, like I saw one day, because I'm going to tell you, this day, I had a type of mood, I ain't doing nothing for nobody. I said, this is my day. I said, I'm tired of trying to help people that don't seem to care about me when I'm down. So I walk up to this store and hear this old lady sitting out there in a chair. Did I walk past her at first? I think I did. And then when I went in and I came back out, I was thinking about Hermas. So, I went out to my car because another guy already given us some money. I gave her some money. And I guess he bought her some aspirin. And then I said, well, do you need anything to drink? And she said no. So she was sitting there putting the pills in her mouth. And I said, oh, I forgot all about it. I got some bottled water in the car. So I went and got her a bottle of water and said thank you. And she blessed me. Okay? All right. And she called me unto her and touched my breast and said unto me, did my reading please thee? I answered the lady, these last things please me, but what went before was severe and hard. She said unto me these last things, as for the righteous, but the foregoing for the revolters and the heathen. And as she was talking with me, 2 men appeared and took her upon their shoulders and went to the east where the chair was. And she went cheerfully away, as she was going, said unto me, Hermas, be of good cheer. Okay? Now, I was surprised that I seemed to overlook something in here, because she also told him to correct his wife because she talked too much. Okay, sisters? And I'm going to tell you, like I said, I've been doing street witnessing for 5 years, over 5 years. Even though I don't do it as much as I used to because of the things that I'm dealing with right now. And sisters, you are my worst audience. And I mean, out of all races of men and all races of women. I used to think it was the brothers until I got out here. And as I said before, the streets taught me differently. Sisters, let me tell you something. You're good at your jobs. Okay? And you are clean. But your attitudes stink. I was trying to figure out, why are some of these men killing our women? Because you are some mean women. I'm telling you, from place to place, this is what I'm seeing here lately. Now, I don't know if this is the pressures of life or what that's getting to you, but you need to stop. And as she said here, stop talking so much. Okay? Start asking God sometime when you see people, well, Lord, what's going on, before you start sticking your little bony finger out trying to find fault with everybody, because you have them too, okay? Now, I hope y'all enjoyed this vision of Hermas as much as I did, because I have kids too, okay? And yes, they're close to my heart. It's hard to rebuke them, but I do. I get rebuked too, all right?